How's my little Pikachu? How is she? Hello and welcome to my review of the Chronicles of Narnia: Voyage of the Dawn Treader. Now, I am a big fan of the Narnia movies. I got both of them right here, and I've watched them several times over. In fact, I watched the first movie on a plane, believe it or not. One of, 10 flights I had to take. But that's another story. So, I was very excited for this version of the Voyage of the Dawn Treader, which I haven't really read the books, or if I have, I remember very little of it. I was probably 5 or 6 when I read the books. But, expectations were very high for this movie, and I was very upset when I heard they replaced the director, Andrew Adamson, who, if you don't know, is the mastermind behind the first and best Shrek movie. And, something I really hate that they do whenever their movies are successful, they can the director. Take Twilight, for example, and how to do it wrong. But I still had high hopes for this movie, and I went into it with an open mind. And boy, do I need to find a better segue, because this was not the best of the Narnia movies. I've heard rumors that this might be the last one, and I hope not, because it's just right off the bat, you know there's a problem. Because the movie, the pace of the movie is way too fast. I mean, there's just scene after scene after scene after scene after scene, and it goes way too fast, and you're like, you need some time to catch up, you need some time to breathe. And overall, it's just and there's so little time spent in our world that when you finally do get to Narnia, it's not the big giant event that it should be. It's like just another scene that just came out of nowhere. It's not handled as cinematically and as great it is as in the first two movies. And another problem with this movie is that there's too much emphasis on comedy. And it's pretty unavoidable with a character like Eustace, but it's just, they did kind of let up the last few halves in the movie, but for the most part, it was just, they were trying to cram in joke after joke after joke in, and with other funny movies, like Eclipse, for example. Eclipse was a pretty funny movie, but it never lost sight of the story it was trying to tell. This movie, sometimes it kind of loses sight of the story. And the big quest that they're after, there's so little background on the quest. There's so little reason. There's not really a big goal in mind. And there's no villain to speak of. It's pretty sloppily written story. I'm not judging the book itself, because if I have read it, I don't remember, but it's just, with the other Narnia movies, the goal was always in mind. And it's clear, the new director, Michael Apted, has no idea how to handle a series this big. I mean, Narnia movies, if you've seen them, are giant fantasy epics. Here, there's hardly any action, and what little there is done with, too much shaky cam, or barely enough focus on it, or, cutting from the action to something really not that eventful. It's clear this guy doesn't know how to do action, and the Narnia movies are known for having some pretty incredible action scenes in them. So, if you're looking, this movie didn't really feel like a big Narnia movie. It just felt like another fantasy movie. At times, kind of reminded me of, dare I say it, Cirque du Freak, in that it was just trying to be as just, what's the word I'm looking for? I'll get back to that. But lost my train of thought. Hold on. And the movie didn't really feel like a Narnia movie until probably the last 10 minutes. The last 10 minutes of this movie were very well done, I have to say. And it was accompanied by a very beautiful song by Carrie Underwood, which, if you can check it out, is definitely worth the $1.29 it is on iTunes. and I hope it gets an Oscar nomination. That's a wonderful song, but it's just what the movie is good for is it's a good showcase for the growing up of the new actors who played Lucy and Edmund. It's just they're really great actors, I have to say, and it took a while for them to go on me in the first movie, but here they pretty much own the movie. They really come into their own, and they they're great, and they do some of their best work, I think, in this movie. And the effects, of, as always, are pretty good, especially on the dragon. Dragons are cool no matter how they slice them. Dragons are always going to be cool, even crappy movies like Aragon. But overall, it doesn't have the magic of the first two movies. It feels like just another pointless quest that's there just for the sake of it. And since this is pretty much, spoiler alert, the conclusion of the Pevensies' journeys into Narnia, I don't quite know what to expect for the next few Narnia movies, if they do indeed make them. But the first two Narnia movies were just of such high quality that, and the only person who could live up to it was Andrew Adamson himself. He did the best job of it, and canning him was a giant mistake. It wasn't a bad movie per se. It just wasn't a Narnia movie. If you're looking for, like, maybe a movie to kill time while watching, or just a movie to see, this is this movie. It's just a passing by movie, like The Sorcerer's Apprentice. But it's not the big epic classics the first two were. I'd probably give it 2 stars. It wasn't a terrible film. It just doesn't have the magic of the first two, and that's its biggest weakness. Frenzy 227 is out.